Jace Media. I am in conversation with Stevie Janevski from, would you say it's a new band, Stevie? Wicked.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A new concept hard rock metal band from Melbourne in Australia. So good morning, Stevie, or good evening to you.
How are you, my friend? I'm good. Cheers.
Excellent. And so we are Jace Media. We're a multimedia boutique website. We have 60 to 80,000 hits a month.
Fantastic.
From all over the world. I've already sent the review to my boss this morning, so that'll be getting posted possibly sometime today.
Excellent. Very cool.
And it'll go across to your PR guys, whoever they may be. It goes to America, it goes to Canada, and it'll be all over. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have YouTube, so it'll be you'll be getting out to the masses.
Man, that is so cool. Thank you so much, Darren.
Not a problem at all. Listen, I really appreciated you a few weeks ago. You dropping me an email to say that we're a new concept band and we have a new record coming out. But you know what? I played it twice this morning before I reviewed it, and it blew me away.
Oh, thank you so much. It's
just you get a feel, you get a real rock. It's just the riffs that come off it are just amazing. The vocals are off the chart, and it's just raw and it's just in your face. And I played it again, and what I do is when I do a review, I'll play it and then I'll play it again and then I'll review it, and it was just awesome.
Man, you've made me smile. I'll tell you what, I mean, it's messages like that. That's the reason why we do it. Particularly for myself and Danny, this is a brand new band that we started late in 2019, and I contacted Danny telling him about the idea of forming Wicked Smile, and I just started writing some songs, and after that I thought, you know what, this is sounding kind of cool. I sent a few of them to a friend of mine named Paul Lane, who has in the past worked with Danger, solo artist, and is now currently in the Defiance. And he had to listen to some of the stuff, and he said, man, this is great. We co-wrote a couple of songs together, and then I was on the search for a lead singer, and I contacted Danny. Danny listened to the stuff, and he said, let's do it. And I was, to be honest, it's such an honor to be working with Danny, because he's such a fantastic vocalist, and he's as a frontman, he's combined vocalist frontman. He's one of the best in Australia. So we cannot wait to play these songs live. So we're really excited.
I mean, that's obviously the major hassle at the moment, where you guys spend a couple of months in the studio, perfecting the sound, and then get ready to go and maybe like a small inter-county tour, promoting some songs or some maybe some covers, and you can't do it.
Yeah, well, in Australia, things have improved dramatically, and fingers crossed that we're going to be able to perform very soon. So like they're starting to open up restaurants. So things weren't. I mean, it's very sad, what has gone on worldwide, of course, but things didn't hit quite like they have in the UK or in America or other parts. The world. So hoping that we get an opportunity to definitely be gigging in a couple of months. So and it is looking very promising, particularly for local bands to be able to play. International bands coming to Australia, I think that's different. But so
there has been obviously a number of high-profile bands who have postponed or cancelled tours, which is a shame, because I've been in lockdown in Scotland for 12 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
12 weeks, and I've got another 8 weeks to go. So we're just, it's just, I'm on this, what they call the furlough scheme, where your company apply to the government and the government pay your salary.
Sure.
So I've been on this furlough scheme for 12 weeks now. Yeah. And I was informed yesterday that I may not be going back till July.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Well,
you know, it's hard. You know, it's hard all over.
absolutely. Well, my other job besides being a musician, because I treat this very seriously, of course, and have for the last 25 years, but I'm also a primary school teacher. And so we are just going back to school now.
Yeah.
So the kids are going back to school right now. So my daughter, who's 17, she's back at school. This week was her first week back at school, and my son, who's 14, he's going back to high school in about a little bit over a week's time. So fingers crossed that, you know, it's starting to definitely improve. But as I said, we weren't affected quite as bad as what it hit, you know, your way in
Yeah, of course,
United Kingdom, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Because my son, as I say, when I emailed you this morning, he lives in Melbourne.
Yeah.
He decided to come out a year past in February, and he was a semi-professional skateboarder.
Oh wow!
He worked in I think is it the skate hut or the skate shack,
right? Yeah,
in
sure.
Melbourne
Yes.
somewhere, and you know, and he just loves it. He loves life. You know, he said it's such a cool city. It's just got lots going on. I have a friend over there, a chap called James Anderson, who is he's just been on tour with Anvil.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
He's a music producer, and you know, and starting tour manager and things like this. I've known James a few years, and he said exactly the same thing. It isn't as hard over in Australia and New Zealand, places like that, than it is in Britain and America, because and you know, my son says because of the wide open spaces you guys have, it seems to be less of a problem because it's such a vast area, you know.
Yeah, look, I think we did get onto things pretty quickly, which is great. But population-wise, like Australia is a very new country, so you can't compare the two. Like most people in Australia, even though it's huge in size, most people live on the outskirts of Australia. So, and I've been over to the UK. This is the first time actually in the last 5 years that I'm not in the UK. Normally I'm in the UK come March. So I'm playing shows over there. So this year was the first time that we didn't do it. So I can't wait to get back to the UK because I have a lot of friends and that I've made over there. So yeah, and I find it very, very sad. Yeah, speaking to a lot of the people. Yeah,
you know, it's just a really sad situation where, you know, when you get projects like this landing on your doorstep and you think, wow, I bet that would be awesome when it's in an arena or it's in a like a venue of, you know, and I don't know if you've ever been to Glasgow, you've ever been to Scotland?
Yeah, I played with my other band that I played in the Radio Sun last year. We played at a venue in Bathgate. Yeah,
the Dreadnought Rocks.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. We had a great time. It was a great reception, and I've made so many friends for life there. So it's so awesome, and we definitely want to get back to, you know, Scotland and the UK.
Normality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as I said, fingers crossed, you know, things improve. But the whole aim of If We Could Smile is it's a world thing. You know, we really do want to tour and play all over the world. Both Danny and I have performed at places such as Wacken Open Air, Hard Rock Hell events in the UK, Masters of Rock in the Czech Republic. The list goes on. So we've played many venues right around the world. So we're looking forward to launching this, you know, on a world scale for sure.
Absolutely. And so have you just been sending stuff out to PR companies and record companies just recently?
Yeah, well,
or has it been on the go for a while? Or
well, Darryl, we've had a few offers from labels. Very, very early on, actually, after the first song was released back in January. But Danny and I, the singer and I, Danny Ciccardi and myself, we made a commitment that because we've been doing this for quite a while and we've been on labels in the past, unless there was a really good reason to sign with a label that can help us and launch us, then we'll do it. If it's a bit more of a smaller label, we've kind of been there, done that, and no negativity there. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like we've already sold a lot of pre-orders, and the response has been fantastic. The pre-orders of the CD and stuff. So in some ways, we're kind of doing what a label would do. Now, of course, if a larger good label comes along and gives us a deal offer to do something with the band, and obviously we'll definitely consider it, because obviously that will help in a big way. But right now, because we've been doing this for quite a long time, we've got a lot of contacts. We have fans of previous bands and projects we've done. So it's been it's been a lot of work, but at the same time, I think it's very satisfying in many ways, because we're dealing with the people direct, as opposed to going with a middle person, being the label or something. So right now we're loving it, and it's a lot of we're dealing with people firsthand, and that's great.
I guess for you guys now, it's that you guys kind of can call the shots as to your direction and how you want to go and how you want to be perceived with the new concept. It's obviously honest to God, I was like, I said to my wife this morning, she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm reviewing this band." And I said, "Listen to this." And she's like, "Fuck me, that's loud." And I said, I said, "That's how I like it. I just crank up the headphones, Stevie, and I get lost in it, and I think, wow, it's just, and it's a fresh approach. As I say, the arrangement and the riffs are just off the chart. They're just off the chart. The vocals are just amazing, And I think as a concept and as a whole thing, it just works really well, and it makes you sit up and take notice. And that's what grabbed me today. I was sitting here this morning at 6 o'clock, cranking away, played it through first, and I thought, fuck, that's great. Played it back again, and then I played it again, and then as I played it, I reviewed it, and I'm thinking, fuck, that's amazing. It's just an amazing, it's just, it's a fresh outlook on a bit of heavy rock with lots of different kind of genres flung in there.
No, absolutely. Well, when we started the band, the whole idea was to do something fresh, because it's so brand new, but at the same time, like, I wanted to kind of go back and just think, okay, in high school, what were some of the bands that blew me away? Now, for me, I grew up on bands like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Dio, Skid Row was a big one for me as well, Kiss, obviously, Van Halen, and I just wanted to get back to that rawness, the energy, and I started to write some of the riffs, and then we started to really hone in on hooks and just good songs. And like, again, sometimes less is more, because I think in the 4 songs that we've released, there's no fillers. And I know that's a thing that's, a lot of bands can say, but I really do believe it, because I love music, and sometimes I love a band and I think, well, I love about half of the album, then there's probably about half that I don't like as much. But our whole point is that we wanted 4, minus the term, but shit hot songs. So, and we can't wait to play. We can't wait to play them live, because there's energy. And as I said before, Danny, he is the real deal vocally. He's going to smash it live. And it's going to be a really good package, I think. When we get the opportunity to play proper electric, it's going to be fantastic.
Do you have any other songs in the offing at the moment other than the 4?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Well, we're recording another 3 at the moment, and one has a bit more of a sort of Jake E. Lee, Ozzy Osbourne sort of era sort of style to it. There's another one which is more cross purposes, Black Sabbath sort of era, and then there's another one which is more classic Skid Row, and there's a ballad as well. So we're very, very excited with the material that's coming up as well. And as I said before, for us, it's about taking our time and writing really good songs.
So do it right, so that I think
absolutely.
That when you take the package to anyone, sometimes, like you said, sometimes people look at songs and they hear it and they go, like you've just said, I like the first 6 songs and the other 6 I didn't like. So I think taking your time, putting your heart and soul into it, and delivering the 4 songs, and people going, wow, that blew me away, rather than saying, I liked the first one, didn't like the other 2, and the last one, it's a grower. So this way, I think, you know, like from a reviewer's point of view, for me, where we hear I hear different genres every day, you know, different styles of rock, different styles of metal, different styles of death metal, different styles of blues, you know, and you go, and sometimes you go, but sometimes you get an album that just hits you, and you think, wow, it's, for me, there's been a lot of thought went into these 4 songs.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And how it came across, you know, Stronger is one of my favourites.
Oh, well, see, there's a good story. Well, when I say a good story, a positive spin in terms of the lyrics, because I wrote that one on my own, actually. And it's loosely based on my daughter's experiences. She's 17 years old now, and she's a singer, guitar player, songwriter herself. And it's loosely based on her experiences of changing from primary school to high school. And as strange as this sounds, particularly in the early years when she was 13, 14, 15, people gave her a really hard time about what she liked, as in, you know, bullied her. So that was a big learning experience for us, the whole family, because she's gone to school loving music and heavy rock, and because she listens to anything from, you know, current stuff, obviously, but I've also brought her up on stuff like whether it be Prince all the way to Ronnie James Dio, you know, Duran Duran and so on, and Heat, you know, like bands like that. So she has a love for music. Yet when she went to school, people are saying, oh, look, you know, what are you listening to that for? I like top 40, I like rap. You know, they didn't understand it. Whereas back in the day when I was in school, and I know things have changed, but if you were carrying a guitar case, you were like one of the cool people, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas she was starting to get bullied for what she wanted to do, because she wants to be a singer, and she is a singer. She's been a singer since she's 14 years of age, and people were giving her a hard time for it. And I just thought, this is crazy. So the lyric Stronger is about her and what she experienced, loosely based on that. Yeah. And she is stronger for it now. And she's 17 years old. And it's just interesting because a lot of those kids that used to bully her, because now her star is rising, funnily enough, are now asking her for advice because they like, you know, rock music now. You know, it's like funny how things change. It's like, man, do you remember when you used to give me a hard time for the stuff that I liked, you know, giving me a hard time because I liked heavy metal? And that's not cool, you know. So, yeah, look, I'm so glad that you mentioned that one in particular, because that's close to my heart.
Yeah, no, listen, do you know, I'm a lyric guy. I listen to stuff. I'll say to my wife, you listen to that song? She's like, no, all I can hear is a guitar and a drum. And I'm like, no, listen to the lyrics, listen to what's been said, you know. And I said to her, this is just an amazing song. Now, I want to say I apologise for your daughter being bullied, because that's just not right, you know. And kids nowadays are just, that's the way they are. They kind of pick on someone because it makes them feel better, you know. Yeah. I'm so glad your daughter has come out the other side. You know,
absolutely.
And I hope your guidance and stuff like that, Stevie, that she'll be a stronger, better performer, and, you know, and basically don't take any shit. You know,
absolutely.
And I hope that resonates from you, because I was just going to get on to ask, how do your kids see you as a rock star? How do they take that? You know, because obviously, I think, you know, kids will sometimes, like your daughter has done, following their parents' footsteps, you know, of being a rocker or liking a certain genre of music, or going into computing, or, you know, or working in an office. So I guess because how you have maybe taught her, brought her up, she wants to be a singer and a songwriter, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely think that has influenced her for sure. I mean, because I've been playing for so long. Like back in the day, I was when she was like 2 years old, 3 years old, she'd be at the Hard Rock Cafe in Melbourne, and she'd be sitting on the stool watching me play, like performing. And so she's grown up with it, and from an early age, she wanted to be a singer. So there's definite influence there. She's a way better singer than me.
Have you told her that?
Yeah, I have told her that, and she tells me that too.
Well, that's obviously the good confidence that you've instilled.
Absolutely, Mark. It's
To take her
fantastic.
forward, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, look for me. Whatever my kids have chosen, my wife and I are big on values. So having good values, just being good people, and in terms of what they have chosen, that is totally up to them. Now, my daughter has followed in my footsteps, and she's starting to, as I said, starting to have a bit of success with her solo career, which is fantastic. Sure. At an early age, too, because she's only 17. But the thing is that she's been playing guitar since she was like 7 years old and learning how to write songs since she was about 9. So there's been a lot of work. Sometimes people don't see things like that, and they start saying things like overnight sensation and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not true. And most performers that are good, there's a lot of work involved, that's for sure. Yeah. And my son, I'm very proud of him because he's chosen more of a sport route, and so he's doing what he wants to do. So I think as a parent, you just love to see your kids blossom, and you do feel sad when they're given a hard time by kids. And being a teacher as well, I sometimes, if I see something like bullying, I'm wearing a T-shirt right now which supports Metalheads Against Bullying, which is a fantastic cause because I believe in it so much. It's like no kids should have to go through stuff just to make other people feel better. It's just not cool. Absolutely. I like the fact that some people are starting to support and get behind stuff like that. And my daughter is an advocate for Metalheads Against Bullying, and I'm very proud of her. I think it's just fantastic. So, but getting back to your question, very, very proud. But in terms of me, the rock and roll dad, I guess it's what they're used to. I'll drop them off at school and give them the heavy metal sign, the Ronnie James Dio heavy metal sign, and particularly when they were younger, they just look down and giggle, but they love it. And sometimes my daughter will come back and go like that now. So it's very cool, very cute. Because
the rock community, it's a sign of respect, I think, Stevie.
Absolutely, yeah. So
it's a sign of, I know what you're talking about, because some people go, absolutely, what you're doing, but I think it's a sign of respect, that you've taught her well, you've educated her and you've supported her, and she now understands,
Oh, absolutely. And for free dress day at school, when they're out of uniform, she'll wear I can't remember what she was wearing recently. I think she was wearing a White Lion T-shirt, and one of the teachers came up to her and said, "White Lion, wow," things like that. So she feels really like, oh, you get it. That's cool. Yeah. Or Dokken or whatever it be. So
What about your kids at school? Do they know you're a rock star?
Yeah. Well, I have. I teach at a school which is very supportive of what I do. So whether it be the hierarchy of the school, the parents, the kids, it's very supported. And like sometimes I've had people come to my shows and say, hey, Mr. Janevski, you taught me, 10 years ago. I always enjoyed how you love music and you'd play guitar and you'd sing songs and stuff like that. So I think I like the idea of breaking stereotypes and being a teacher and also playing in a heavy metal band. Like I love it, I really do, and because it's okay to be different. It's okay. You don't have to be a follower. So obviously I get the idea that sometimes people want to just fit in. But at the same time, it's okay to be different as well.
I guess for me, my first gig, I was 11 years of age, and I saw AC/DC in the world famous there's a place in Glasgow called the Glasgow Apollo.
Oh yeah, I know of the place. Yes,
the Apollo.
I've heard about it. Yes.
My dad's friends was the head security, and he knew I liked music, and he said, "The big man, what's you doing tonight?" And my dad said nothing. He goes, listen, there's a gig on. Send him down. No bother. So I goes down. Big, massive blue door with a big knocker on it. Boom, boom, boom. Right, in you come. Took me through the corridor. Shoved me through the crowd. Here I am. I'm in the middle of the Apollo. Place goes dark. Now, I don't even know who's on, because he just said, tell me to come down tonight. He'll really like this band.
Sure.
Comes on. Lights down. Bosh. Wee Angus comes out. And I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Played for about an hour. Lights go up and he pops his head out the curtain and he goes, how was that? I went, wow, that was awesome. Who were they? He went, that's AC/DC. I thought, brilliant. And he says to me, you know, there's guys, tattoos, cut off denim jackets, big beards, long hair. He said to me, are you staying for the main act? And I said to him, it's 9:15. I've got school tomorrow. And he said, I said to him, who is it? And he said, it's the Rolling Stones. And I said to him, never heard of them. I need to go up the road. And I walked out. And he's like, what? I said, never heard of them, don't know who they are. And I just left, you know? And you kind of think that from that age, it was kind of drugged into me that, heavy metal is what I wanted to listen to. Cool. And like yourself, you know, I've been very fortunate. I've been a personal bodyguard. I've travelled the world. I've looked after lots of people, you know, and I've, you know, you're in excesses of this world. You're Joe Cockers of this world.
Wow.
I've been the Turners of this world. I've been all over Bon Jovi. I've been to Russia. I've been everywhere. But I always come back to rock music because, you know, it was my first love. I introduced my son when he was 8 to Iron Maiden. Bought him a T-shirt, took him to the gig. And he's like, wow, this is amazing, you know. And this, because he said to me, oh, they're coming in June, Dad, to Australia. Maybe you could come across them and go to see Maiden. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Obviously now everything's been cancelled or postponed, you know. But he understands, for me, like, getting into this business where you do reviews every day. I mean, I'm reviewing probably 6, 8, 10 albums a day of different bands. And I get bands like yourself who pop into my inbox and I'll go, well, there's a new band, I want to have a listen to this. Some bands you'll listen to and go, not really a fan of that. But you listen to it and you go, wow, that's amazing. Someone's taking time to sit down, write these songs, put the lyrics together, put the melodies together and blast it out. That's amazing. And for me, that's a really good feeling that I can then give back to you guys, you and Danny, and Paul, and say, fantastic. What a, you know, and as I said to you right at the start of the conversation, you know, we have a wide range of other agencies that we can send it to. And just purely because you reached out to me, I'm going to do all that I can to get.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Smile out there somewhere, you know.
No, that means the world to me because it's hard starting a new band. I mean, I played in a band, like I played in a band called Black Majesty for almost 20 years. And like I chose to do something different. And that's a risk that you take. But I feel so good that I have this opportunity, like whether it be in terms of the way that the response has been for Wicked Smile, and also to be able to be working with fantastic people like Danny and Paul, and it's just it's the best feeling. It really is, and it gives me shivers sometimes when people say nice things, because that's why I do it. Because it makes me feel good, but it also it works both ways.
The adulation coming back, which you know, and on terms of this, which is justified, because it's honest to God, you know, you listen to stuff and you think, yeah, it's all right, but honest to God, I've played this, as I say, 3 or 4 times this morning, and I'm thinking, once you go off, I'm going to blast it out again.
That's awesome.
Thank you. You know, I listen to it and I think, wow, that's amazing. You know, and as I say, it's just, for us, it's just a good feeling. Like you say, you get goosebumps. I go, wow, never had anything like this before. You know, the different arrangement. You think, wow, it's just in your face, you know, and it's just, and you think, wow, that's amazing. So, you know, I will, as I say, I'm going to post the interview probably in the next hour to my boss. We'll probably work on it today, get it out today. It'll go live everywhere. I've got something like 1,700 friends on Facebook. They'll be getting it whether they like it or not, and then they can listen to it.
That's so cool.
And I hope that, you know, when you do get to tour, if you do come to Scotland, you'll look me up.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, man. Like I said, in terms of whether it be via email, via Facebook, any social media, and then meeting the people that I've made friends with. Like there's so many names that I could mention from the UK that have become lifelong friends. And that's the way I look at this, because it's about good people and sharing a common goal of music. So absolutely, Darren. I mean, I'm a big supporter in people who take the time to support me, 100%. I mean, honestly, I don't understand when artists don't, because I just think to myself, number one, it's rude, and number two, I can't understanding the thinking behind it, you know, because if people are sharing a common goal, or if, like, for example, if a fan is asking an artist for a signature, and when I hear people refuse, I don't understand that, you know, I really don't, because basically they're saying to you, I like your band, or I like what you do, and that's like, it takes, you know, 30 seconds to sign a signature. So obviously, you know, for bigger artists, I get it's sometimes quite difficult, you know, if you're a band like Def Leppard or whatever it be. But having said that, I hear those guys are fantastic people as well. Now, that's why they're at the top, you know. So I remember meeting some of my heroes. Like I met George Lynch from Dokken very early into playing guitar, and he was such a nice guy. And I'll always remember that. I thought, you know what, that's what I want to be. You know, I want to be like that type of person. And it gets back to, we're all equal. You know, we really are. That doesn't matter that you're on stage and the other person's in the audience, because the way I look at it, if you don't give back, well, then they're not going to return. You know, and it's, again, it gets back to values. It's a full circle, isn't it?
Of course it is. I think, you know, like you putting stuff out there and people buying it is the one side of Wicked Smile, and people buying the pre-order. The second part of that is that, you know, because, you know, you'll look at who you're sending it to, where you're sending it to, Australia, America, Britain, you know, Sweden, France, Germany. And then when you go to these places, you know, you may remember some people. And I think it's important that for you to go, yeah, how you doing, Klaus, or how you doing, Dan, or how you doing? Yeah. I remember you bought my album.
Absolutely.
And I say, can you sign it? You're absolutely no problem. Because I think that it's just, you're right, giving it back to the fans, because they've taken time to spend $10, $15 on a CD and maybe $20 on a T-shirt, because these are the things that will last a lifetime.
Absolutely. And
for you to say, sign it, cool, you know, and anytime you want to chat, just look me up on Facebook. And I think that's important, because like you say, they're just people, you know, and if you then start to ignore these people, then Wicked Smile's audience, you know, just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, because people are going, yeah, Stevie was an asshole because he never spoke to me. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important. That
but the thing is, sorry, my dog just wants to jump up. Say hello. Say hello, Snoopy. The thing is, Darren, I really believe that you can't fake being a good person. Like it's so, anyway, I think it's the real deal or you're not. And like I would like to think that all the people that know me know that it is the real thing. Like I could mention, because for example, with the Wicked Smile, all the pre-orders, and we had a lot, I mailed them. You know, I'm the one who wrote all the addresses out. So I could tell you 100 people that, you know, who the first 100 people who ordered our stuff, and I'm wrapped, because it makes, you know, it gives that connection, it gives you that reward. And of course, the first thing I want to do is meet people. For example, when I played in the UK for the first time at a place called Hard Rock Hell, HRH, we were playing, where were we playing? We were in Wales.
down
Yeah, it was
down
in Pawelli.
down in Pawelli,
And I remember, I remember meeting, you know, a couple of friends that I chatted to, and I remember being on stage and seeing people that I'd been chatting to for the last 10 years and pointing at them, and they're like, "Is he pointing at me?" And I'm like, "I know who you are." And I could, you know, I could rattle off so many names like that. There's a guy named Andy who runs an 80s, 90s and beyond Facebook page. Like, I saw him in the audience and he knew that I saw him, and it's just a smile, like, you know, just a connection where you go, respect, you know, like, you've come to see me and I appreciate it. When I had the opportunity, you know, you give them a hug, you know, it's like, that's the, I can't believe that we're not going to be able to do that for the next, you know, next year or two. But it really is the real deal, you know. And Simon Finesse, there's so many people that I could say they're just such good people. Ryan Dainty, there's so many people in the UK that, like, I've made lifelong friends by coming over and playing shows and having that connection.
Ryan works for the other side. He works for the other PR company that just when you mentioned Ryan's name, I know Simon Furness really well, but I know Ryan works for Rockfiend. He works for the other side. So I'm sure that they'll be in contact with you. I'm sure you've probably sent the CD to them. So but you know, it's a healthy competition, Stevie, and that's what's good about it. But the fact that you're mentioning these names, and I'm sure Ryan will be stoked to know that you've put his name out there, because it's nice that when reviewers or just a music fan gets a bit of recognition from the band, from the singer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, Darren, in all honesty, like, Colin was the person from Rockfiend who brought us out to Glasgow. So, you know, again, it's just, it's about good people for us. And,
absolutely.
You know, so we're very, very thankful is probably the, you know, and we're very appreciative of people who go to the effort, and for people who genuinely like what we do. It works both ways. We appreciate it big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, Stevie, but
You're very welcome.
I appreciate you doing the interview. As I say, it'll be the review will be posted on the website this morning. Hopefully the interview will be posted today, tomorrow, and we'll just share the shit out of it for you. Hopefully we can keep in touch, and obviously we'll get a wee bit of momentum for Wicked Smile, and maybe we'll chat again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Cheers.
So this is Darren from Jace Media with Stevie from Wicked Smile, saying thanks for your time, Stevie. It's a pleasure and a privilege, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Cheers.